Adhocracy News, May 22nd, 2017. Today's top stories.
Lego Batmans everywhere.
Apple is accessible.
$1,000 a month documented.
Hello, I'm JD Melville.
And I'm David Landeen, and welcome to Adhocracy News, where we cover the stories in advertising, marketing, art, and design this past week that you may have missed.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump into our top story. Or one of our top stories.
One of our top stories.
One of our 5 top stories. The Axe brand has continued to change its image from the untrue women wanting upon spraying image.
Untrue but entertaining.
Entertaining, yes. And looking at a more diverse image of what a man is. It's a very interesting campaign. You may remember their new direction this last year during the Super Bowl when they came out with the men, they're finding their own thing. It was called Finding Your Magic. Who needs all this stuff when you have your thing?
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit, it was a very different change in campaigns, because instead of being like, spray this on, women will want you, it's women will want you for you. Mm-hmm. And they, along with that, they came out with a bunch of different little tiny clip commercials. And these are, of course, popular on Facebook. They're the little videos that, you can kind of get an idea of what needs to happen in 15 seconds. A lot of cooking ones do this too, right?
Yeah.
Something that takes 2 hours, they just show quickly with, hands throwing something in and measure it out perfectly.
Yeah. So easy.
Yeah.
Just simple.
These ones actually showed people styling their hair, like how this guy gets his thing, his hair. He just takes a little bit of this, rubs it, twirls it, and bam, that's his look. But their new campaign, they've continued to move into the current debates about man stereotypes and what people call toxic man or machismo or whatever you want to call it. With their new Is It Okay for Guys campaign. Now, this came from the Google search suggestions. If you type in, is it okay for guys, it comes up with a whole host of different things that sort of question whether it's okay for a man to wear pink, for a man to be a virgin, for a man to do, any litany of things that sort of challenge the idea of this is a man. And this isn't just an ad campaign. They're actually going to be creating content that they hope to get on the first page of when someone types this. Is it okay for a man to wear pink? They will have content there. They're even partnering up with different influencers and anti-bullying organizations in order to do some of these things. So it'll be interesting to see if and how this can make effect on our current society.
It will be interesting to see. And note that they didn't have it be okay Google, is it okay for
That could be interesting as well.
Yeah. Well, Apple's new campaign features various musicians, nursing students, cooks, outdoor and bird enthusiasts, soccer players, comedians, middle school band and choir teachers, and tech CEOs.
Yeah.
Which,
that's not out of the norm.
No, it's not.
That's what they've shown
always,
before.
Yeah. But there is a slight difference with these ones because these commercials are released for the Global Accessibility Awareness that's on May 18th and feature individuals who are less disabled and more abled than many of us to pursue the lives they want with the help of technology. So it does feature people with disabilities, but then shows, not them discussing what they would like to do, but show them discussing what they are doing with the help of Apple. And Apple is definitely a company who it's been said that they have done more for accessibility than any other company to date, which is strong praise.
Yeah, it is. It is very strong praise. And that's the interesting thing. This campaign, all of these people have some sort of what everyone would say is a disability, but it shows them not being disabled. That it focuses on what they're doing and what their passions are, as opposed to this person's in a wheelchair.
Well, and I watched one of the commercials, and it was featuring a person who was blind, and I didn't realize that he was blind until a ways into the video. No, I don't like. So he can use an Apple phone. Like he's using it different than everybody else. But are they just trying to show some feature? Like I don't get it. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, he's oh wow,
he's completely blind. Was it the one where he was cooking?
No, it was the one where he was a
musician,
a music producer, or a PR person or something like that, like an album
on the Hard Rock.
Yeah. I was
super cool.
It's really cool. It's really interesting to show a different perspective of how technology is used. And I think that's great.
Yeah, and it's not like a look to the future. It is kind of like we're doing this, and this is now. I mean, it's not okay.
Wouldn't it be great
wish and our dreams are.
Yeah.
It's like here's my dream, and this is me doing it.
Yeah,
which is so cool.
I love it.
I mean, it's cool to see that kind of a campaign done that way.
And it's cool to see disability shown in a completely different light than we normally see it.
Yeah, I mean, these are people who can do everything that we can. I mean, there's another one with a blind guy, and he wants to cook, and he's cooking. Like, it's just incredible.
Wow.
He's also composing music, which is fantastic. Wow. Not that you can't be blind and compose music, but
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
you could check those out.
Lego Batman was actually released this past week.
Oh. Yeah. I haven't seen it.
Neither have I. I need to see it. And it seems that the iTunes store has actually caught Lego fever. In a promo for the digital release, the iTunes store showed top Batman movies along with other big releases that were tinged in the style of Legos. So they had, all these top releases. I mean, including like Lord of the Rings. They had a couple of those. They had Gremlins. They had even The Wizard of Oz. and some of them even like you would click through and you would see a scene from the movie, but it's like shown in Legos. Yeah. It was kind of a fun way to bring attention to the release, as well as kind of, a delightful way to advertise the movie in an unexpected way. I mean, even if you scroll down a little, they kind of re-released some of the old Batmans, and they had, the different Batman cowls on and stuff, and Did
they have Lego bat nipples?
I didn't look that close.
Well,
I don't know.
You have to go and check those. Gotta Google that. No. Anyway, moving on. YouTube recently announced their new typeface in collaboration with Saffron Consultants. Anyway,
Saffron Consultants. That could be in a tongue twister.
Yeah. This new typeface debuted with their new service, YouTube TV, and allows for them to have their own unique look that takes cues from the play button. Mm-hmm. The play button even received some attention and perfecting and became a symbol or a glyph in the font that includes 3 different weights. So you have like your play button, so you can type a play button now.
Yeah, you can actually type it out.
This has become a more common trend in bigger brand designs that gives a brand a way to uniquely express their voice in a way that's not easily duplicated. Not only is it the way they say it, but it's how it's written as well.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that if you look at a lot of brand designs, a lot of these big design firms are coming out with their own typeface for them.
Well, and if you can associate your brand with a typeface, mm-hmm. then that makes your brand so much stronger, because then really people are going to see, like, you write something and it's branded.
Yeah.
So it's pretty, I mean, it's amazing that hasn't been happening. Like,
and that's the thing. I mean, any typeface, any font family, anything that you use has a certain feel to it, right? I mean, that's a whole thing of typography, is using a certain font or type family that conveys the right kind of message, the right kind of feel.
Yes, exactly. So our typeface is Helvetica and Times New Roman. So every time you see those, you have to think about us. And actually any font out there. We are all typefaces. So anytime you see a typeface, think the Adhocracy show. We're gonna brand that.
Exactly.
All typefaces.
It would be hard to take over
including wingdings.
We are wingdings. And for our top story, how would you like to receive $1,000 per month just to live?
I would like that. Just to live and breathe?
Yeah, just because you are you.
Wow.
This is a term called universal basic income, and it's a rather radical idea, but it's not a new one. it's the idea that it basically pays you what you need to live, housing, food, things like that. These are your basic necessities. It's people like Martin Luther King were proponents of it, and economist Milton Friedman. They were both supportive of this idea.
I have so many questions.
Right? And, it's something that is of big debate, with our world moving towards automation. So. Yeah. It's a discussion that may need to be had because, if our jobs, if a lot of jobs, 50% of our jobs go to automation, what are we going to do about that? And it is something that costs a lot of money. I mean, I think the idea is, okay, it would cost $1 trillion for this to happen. But what does that do to our economy? What does that do to people? What does that do about lower class versus upper class? It's a very interesting thing. And one filmmaker wants to make a documentary to show what would happen if it were to become a reality. Dia Schlossberg and Conrad Shaw are setting out and taking applications for you to be part of this documentary. So you can actually receive $1,000 per month.
And have a documentary about you.
Yeah.
So is that, wouldn't that technically be like working for the documentary? Like they're paying you to be in the documentary?
They would be, but I mean, the idea is this would be on top of what you already earn.
Oh, okay.
Like you still work.
Oh, so just your normal life, and then you're just,
yes.
Here's an extra $1,000.
Yeah, so this would be like the government giving an extra $1,000. And the reason why they're going after this is in an attempt to give the discussion around it a little bit more of a human element and actual results rather than just postulation.
Yeah.
Rather than just saying, well, that's going to cost a lot of money, we shouldn't do that. A lot of times it's just sort of void of emotion, it's numbers, it's where they actually want to show what happens when basic needs are taken care of. When we can all take care of basic needs, what would that do? Would we have less homeless people?
I would imagine so.
Would we be able to branch out and reach our full potential? Would we be less stressed? Would we?
Oh, I'd be less stressed with an extra $1,000. That's for sure.
Would we take on extra hobbies and be able to change the world around us? That's what they're aiming to do. That's what they're aiming to show and see. And they're also prepared and ready to show, okay, we're going to give people $1,000. Does it not change their lives? It's sort of a documentary to really see what happens. And so they're actually starting their crowdfunding right now to start with 2 people. And then they'll move up to about 20 subjects that they'll be able to do with the funding that they get.
Wow. Would that be taxed?
I don't know.
Either. Anyway, well, fascinating stuff today.
Very interesting.
I feel like we had a lot of diversity within our stories.
We did.
We kind of went into everything. Was there anything we missed? You tell us.
Yeah, is there a story this last week that we missed? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see if we can't cover it this next week.
If you like what you saw and you want to see more, you can subscribe. You could just go watch other videos too, but you could also subscribe.
Yeah.
If you want.
And thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to our videos.
And make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram because we're there too. We're not only on YouTube, we're also those other places.
Yeah. And to begin your week, because Mondays are hard.
They're so hard.
Oh, the hardest. Here's a video for you to enjoy.
This is the station to rock you, shock you, move you, and groove you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My name is Patrick Lafayette. Don't you ever forget, it's Chris Mix Radio. Patrick with you.